So welcome back to this channel. Today you will learn to use the switch statement in Java to control the flow of your program's execution with the help of examples, and we will also going to build a simple calculator to understand the switch statement. The switch statement is a multi-way branch statement. It provides an easy way to dispatch execution to different parts of code based on the value of the expression. Basically, the expression can be byte, short, character, and int primitive data types, and also we can use enums and string and wrapper classes. So this is the syntax of switch case. As you can see on the screen, we have some expression inside the switch statement, and then we have some cases like x and y, and then we have a default keyword, and we have also a break keyword in each cases. Now let's try to understand switch statement through a flow diagram. So this is the flow diagram of switch statement. We have an expression over here, and it will check this expression with all the cases available inside this switch statement, and if it matches with any case value, then it will going to execute that block, and if no cases will be matched with the expression, then the default code will be going to execute. Now let's talk about some important rule for switch statement. So in switch statement, duplicate case value are not allowed. The value for a case must be of the same data type as the variable in the switch. The value for a case must be a constant or a literal. Variables are not allowed. The break statement is used inside the switch to terminate a statement sequence. The break statement is optional. If omitted, execution will continue on into the next case. The default statement is optional and can appear anywhere inside the switch block. In case if it is not at the end, then a break statement must be kept after the default statement to omit the execution of the next case statement. These are some important rules for switch statement. Now let's go through an example and let's see how does the switch statement work. So now we have a simple example of switch statement. So here the expression is evaluated once and the compare with the values of each case level. If there is a match, the corresponding code after the matching case level is executed. For example, if the value of the expression is equal to case 44, then the code after case 44 is executed. If there is no match, the code after default is executed. So in this example, we have used the switch statement to find the size. Here we have a variable number. The variable is compared with the value of each case statement. Since the value matches with case 44, the size variable is assigned with value large. Now let's run this program. Let's see what will be the output. Since you already know how to compile our program and how to run this, so I will not going to repeat this. So now as you can see on the screen, our output is size large, as I have told you. Now you might be thinking that what if we don't use the break statement? So if the break statement is not used, all the cases after the matching case are executed. So let's remove the break statement from each cases, and let's try to run this program. So now I have just removed all the break statement from all the cases. Now let's try to run this program. So now you can see on the screen, it first matching the cases, and here the 44 case is matching with our expression, and then it's printing all the codes after the cases 44, as you can see, including the default. If you put a break statement here, then after this case 48, it will not going to execute the code because it will break the switch statement. So let's try to give a break statement here and try to run this program. Now let's run this program. So as you can see on the screen that we have the large and the extra large, and it will not going to execute the default because we have given the break keyword before the default statement. So to print only the block of that case, we use the break keyword, that after execution of that block, it will going to break the switch statement. Now let me repeat the rules for switch statement once again. That is, if we are using an integer value for case level, then you have to use the same data type for the value of each case level. So in our example, we are using integer data type, and if you want to put a string data type like this, then it is not allowed. You have to use the whole case label in a string, and you can use this default keyword anywhere in this switch statement. So let me just put it here. But remember one thing, that if you are using this default keyword before the cases, then you have to use break statement to terminate this default. Otherwise it will going to execute the next cases until it will get a break. Now I think you got the whole idea of switch statement. Now let's try to build a simple calculator using this switch statement. So this is a complete program for a simple calculator. So in this program, it takes 3 inputs from the user, 1 operator and 2 numbers. Based on the operator provided by the user, it performs the calculation on the numbers, then the result is displayed on the screen. If you have noticed, we are using a scanner class to scan the user input, and we are also using the Java util.star to get the scanner class from the java.util. So let me tell you more about this for java.util.star. So this is a package provided by the Java. So what we are doing here, we are importing the scanner class. Instead of importing single scanner class, we are importing the whole class inside this java.util. That's why we are just using the star. We can also use here a scanner instead of using the star like this. But we're also going to run our program because we are using only the scanner class. So if you don't know the scanner class, then go and watch my previous video. We have discussed about the scanner class, how we can get input from the user. So in this program, we are just creating an object of this scanner class. By help of this object, we are getting a character from the user that is nothing but operator. It will be plus, minus, multiply and the division. And we are also getting the first number and the second number by using this object, number 1 and number 2. And here we have an expression of a string data type. If the given operator is plus, then it will going to execute this block of code. And if the given operator is minus, then it will going to execute this minus case and so on. So we have just given here a default value that the user try to give some other input. Then it will going to tell the user that you have entered an invalid operator. So now let's try to run this program. First of all, we have to use the operator. So I'm going to multiply. So we have to just type a sign of multiply. Then we have to give the first number and the second number. So now here we have got the answer, that is 12 multiplied by 65 is 780. Let's try the other operators as well. So I'm going to perform plus operator. So now we have to give first number and the second number to perform this operation. So we will give 5, then 45. So our program is running perfectly. Now let's try to run rest of the operators. Now we are getting all our outputs. If you have noticed, I have compiled our program only once and I'm running this program again and again. So if you have remembered, I have told you that if you are making any changes in your program, then only you have to recompile your program. Otherwise you don't have to recompile your program. Since I didn't change anything inside our program, that's why we are running this again and again. I hope you got everything we have discussed inside this video, and still you have any queries, then comment below. I will solve your problem. And that's it for this video. We will meet in the next video. Till then, keep learning and keep practicing.